thing is, hey, hold up a minute. How much also? Hello.
Hey, Rob, mute your phone.
Huh? What's going on, loved one? I gotta get us on Bluetooth on this, and I'm in a friend of mine's store, and it's a whole lot of people here, and I would like everybody to be able to get involved with it. So I want you. He's gonna give me a Bluetooth, and we're gonna rock and roll. You ready? BT Dot. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. Here we go. Go ahead. Just how much for the sodas? Go ahead. That's all lovely. I'm searching for it now, so see. Yeah, he's playing the theme song now. So we on the air. You gotta give me this Bluetooth, and I'm in there. I'm searching for it. Think you gotta come near me? Nothing yet. Okay. Yeah, miscellaneous, this one? I want to see that from the place. It should be BT Doggle. Maybe I take my phone off. I love you. Take my phone. Hey, Matt. Audio device, this one? No? Yeah, it should be BT Doggle. I'm certain. That song goes off, I gotta start talking. Go to Bluetooth. I'm on Bluetooth. You touch it? Okay. Unpair all these others. Right. Okay, here we go. I unpaired all of those. I'm searching. Audio device headset. Who is that? Audio device headset. Who is that?
I want to hear about the father. Yeah, this other shit. About everything.
Hey, we haven't connected yet. Hey, Sir Steve, we haven't connected yet, and I'm on the air. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ATUN-RE, and this is the afternoon show. Blog Talk Radio, and we're up and running. And without question, I'd like everybody in the listening audience, all the OSOICE members, to know very, very good people here today. And I want you all to know that this has not happened ever before in the history of Blog Talk Radio. There have so many Nubians gathered together all across the globe to do our thing. And what our thing is to answer the questions of the world, a world that is destined to die. And so, with that, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our host. Dawid, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Dawid, your host.
And he's calling from where are you, Dawid?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. And we also have Zurael Ballhead. Zurael. Bring that, baby. Is Zurael on the line, Dawid?
Yeah, he on there.
Dawid, where are you? I mean, Zurael.
It say he on here.
I'm here. I can hear you. I'm here. Listen, you know I don't like this shit. I'm here because you want. I'm here because I'm supposed to be here. But you know I don't like this shit.
Hey yo, I'm gonna tell you like this. You can't listen to the morning, quit the next day. That don't work.
Y'all speak up. Master Teacher, speak up because you're breaking up, Master Teacher.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but you was, yeah.
I wasn't near the Bluetooth. What we're going
you moving around. I know you moving fast.
Moving around. I'm in a friend of mine's store. The brother's a very good brother. He's involved with the Nubian community here in the state, the city of Vallejo, California, big time. Not just in Vallejo, but also in Oakland, San Francisco, and just greater Bay Area. Sacramento, you name it, the brother's with us. I'd like to introduce him to you. His name is Sir C.
All right.
No. We got some new questions on the line. Everybody be front and center. Stock, are you here?
Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with us. We're conducting this radio show off of our cell phones. And Master Teacher, if you could please, when you're speaking, stand still. I know it's difficult because you're vibrating at a high frequency. Please try to stand still in one spot when you're talking into the Bluetooth mic so that the reception can pick up on our end and we can hear you clearly.
Okay, very best that I can. I'd like to know Stock.
Thank you.
Stock on the line with us?
Yes, Stock is on the line.
Stock, you there? Stocks.
Yo.
You.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, nigga.
What's going on?
Hey, boss up. Come here for a second, honey.
Is Nikki on the line? Nikki, you there? Don Nicoleone, are you there?
Don Corleone is on the line with us today.
No, they not there.
No, Nikki loves
They listening though.
My mother's on the line.
No, so far we only got 3 people.
Okay, now let's slow down because I want everybody to be introduced to somebody.
No. You have 4 or 5 people.
Yes, and that is Amun-Ra. Yeah.
This is Amun-Ra.
Family. I want everybody to be very mindful and considerate.
All I heard was mindful and considerate, and that's enough. I hear you.
Yeah, his phone breaking up.
Yeah, because he's on Bluetooth.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm telling you, I ain't got no choice but to do it this way. You all have got to hear me. Can you hear me, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you now, if you stand still.
I want
All right.
to introduce to y'all, for the very first time, a significant reincarnate who is the deity, listen, Ma'at. Now, who Ma'at? Ma'at is the goddess of what?
Law.
Justice.
The law.
Justice. That's the real deal, Holyfield. The niggas right here standing next to me. Anunnaki in the flesh. Introduce yourself. What's up?
That's real.
That's that nigga. You heard your sister?
That's right. That's right.
No, I
she
didn't hear.
preached to the choir. She said, ATUN-RE is real. I heard her clear as day.
Yeah, I heard it.
ATUN-RE is real. ATUN-RE is real. That's exactly what Matt said.
Hey, yo, you want to know something? I love all of y'all. This is a great day. Let me explain. Even in we're holding together with bubblegum and Band-Aids. I mean,
no, man, we holding together. We holding together with spit and spit. That's that holy water. That's that holy water. Go ahead. You know what? ATUN-RE, you know what? Clear up the reception. Spit on the phone. Spit on the phone and wipe it. Spit on your phone and wipe it so your reception comes in clearer. Bless your phone, man. Spit on it. Bless your phone and spit on it.
I just did. Just spit on the thing, too.
Oh, look at that. Now we can hear him clearly. Look at that. What you call that? I call that holy water. That's holy water. Because what did you do with that blind man?
I'm coming out with a new book. Guess what the name of the book is?
The Science of Saliva. Mm-hmm.
The Science of Saliva. That's right. We're coming out with that book very shortly here now. And we're also coming out with the book of the eyes. Dawood, on yesterday's show, I was telling everybody it's not and it's all going to be publicized. So if everyone wants to communicate with the brother, your Gmail address, Dawood, he'll give it to me, and then you guys will be sending the revenue straight to UNRWA, Western Union, and the books will show up to you in an e-book capacity. You'll be able to purchase the book and be able to read the book in this way. Other than that, you won't have access to these pamphlets of peace and this latter. What I mean by that, we had a lot of people called in, right? They wanted books. How many books did we sell?
We had, I'm not sure how many the exact number, how many people left their email, but we had a few.
Okay, what I'd like you to do is communicate those emails to me today, sending the book. You know, like in other words, you can take the book, the copy that you have, and then you can Gmail it straight to them. You follow me? But that's after the payment has been made, which I'll let you know. Okay?
Okay.
And the books that are available, let me read them all. You have the Living Book. You have the Circle and Square Parts 1 and 2. You have the Book of Marijuana. And you'll be having the Circle and Square Part 3 here now very shortly. The Circle and Square Part 1 Part 1 was 28 pages. Part 2 was about 50. Part 3 was 207 pages. So I'm going to go to everybody a living, so living.
What?
A living book. Then we have the book of Revolution.
That better just be my phone.
Let's see. Book of Revelation is the only divine scripture in your New Testament. That God unto his son. The son of Zebedee is right here in the Galileo. Told you all that there are several significant reincarnates right in the city. Why? Because in the northern hemisphere, which is why so many significant reincarnates are showing up. The son of Zebedee also, and his name is Brian Brown. Matt and I had the pleasure of spending a great deal of time with Brian Brown, and I'd like her to tell you what she told me just a short while ago. Hold on. Can you do me a favor? Tell them what you told me in reference to Brian. You say he's writing again, but what?
In Cuneiform.
He's writing, the brother's writing again, and the whole book is in Cuneiform. Now that should tell you something. You're talking about a real deal, Holyfield, listen, reincarnate. Brian Brown is writing right now, and the book is written entirely in Cuneiform. Now, that there is telling a whole lot. Just like I was trying to tell y'all, the brother that's underneath me that my father gave birth to, his name is Abraham. And before Abraham, I am, is what I told him on the phone. How did I set that up? No way possible. But that's the same thing that was said 2,000 years ago. So, if indeed there's any doubt, I guarantee you within the next...
Why? They look so weird. Staring.
Yeah. So,
they look so weird staring.
Oh, the reception is horrible, bro. Can you hear me?
What's going on? You can't hear
Dawid,
me?
can you hear me? I can hear you, but
Yeah, I
your
can hear you.
reception is horrible. It's like what I'm getting is every third word broken up into a third. Isn't that deep? Every third word is broken into a third, and that's all I'm hearing. So I'm hearing the ending of every word. Of every third word, I'm hearing the ending.
You understand? Tell him I said I got something for him, and I'll give it to him in a minute. But I'm doing this show one way or another. I don't care what they say. Listen to me.
Fuck that. Keep talking.
He's a good being. Good consideration. Listen, I want to know that I come to my own first and foremost. I don't care what nobody say. I'm here for the new man and woman first. But many years ago, I came to my own, but my own received it not. And that was all I was here for. Then this time, I'm here for the entire world. Meaning, everybody will have this chance and private moment with ATUN-RE by which whatever problems are plaguing you in your home, the situation concerning you and your wife, be they health and healing problems, these problems I will be addressing one by one. Meaning, I want y'all to know that right now there's a dilemma. Because you have three Hushapats, without question, which is a being that never existed before. The first, all three of them are significant reincarnated. The woman's name was what? Trinity. Fool yourself. Sophia Stewart found her way on our show. That's the mother of the Matrix. Long before the entire world knew that she had written the Matrix, she had written Terminator. Does anybody know what the movie Terminator was about? Can somebody tell me?
Say what?
Everybody talk. What is the movie
Say what?
Terminator about? What
movie Terminator? The movie Terminator was about a black scientist that developed an artificial intelligence program that would take over the Pentagon and the World Wide Web. It would be would be an artificial intelligence bringing everything that was computerized under one consciousness and control.
Hold on one second. I have
Skynet. It's called. And ladies and gentlemen, it was called Skynet. Skynet. As in Sky Netero.
Okay, I'm back. First off, it's about a boy. The Terminator is about a little boy who sent a bodyguard from the future. Why? Because this child is supposed to grow up and invent something that will change the face of the planet. Am I saying that? Yes or no?
You're not quite correct, but you got the ballpark. You're in the ballpark.
The little boy was supposed to invent something that would change the face of the planet.
The little boy, in fact, was supposed to stop Skynet. And Skynet knew that little boy was destined to stop Skynet. That's why he had to have that bodyguard. And the bodyguard was part of Skynet.
Right. Okay, now we're talking Hollywood having a given situation that they extracted from the Akashic record, which you call the Book of Life. Because you have to keep in mind they stole those scripts from Sophia Stewart. And in stealing those scripts, what you're dealing with is Merlin and his holy wood. Okay? Because whether you know it or not, Merlin is Tahuti's arch enemy. And when you say Merlin and Hollywood, about a holy wood, which is what Merlin calls his wand. And he swings that wand and puts his face on the silver of any you all go to the theater today. to see and pay $8 to do. And you're saying it's only a movie. But the reality of it is movies are designed to move you and me in a particular direction. How do you know? Because you take in information through the eyes and the ears daily. And that becomes unforgettable. And I told you all many times before, how do you make a movie, a mere movie, great? Well, it's a technique that's used called draining the humanity. And the epitome of a movie that drains the humanity is a movie called Imitation of Life. I told you all to watch this movie a long time ago. I don't think any of you have. And you need to get a copy and try it. It's called Imitation of Life. Now, why do I say drain the humanity? Because if you can get your audience to cry, then you are taking your movie from being a mere movie to being a great movie. See, but the thing is, your Knights of Templar and your Masonic community, they use techniques, that you find in the screenplay. There's a technique that screenplay is used, which is called foreshadowing, where they plant a seed here, it blows up over there. That's how they almost murdered me and the brother the other day with that shit called Spice. And I want everybody in the listening audience to know that Spice, if you ever come in contact, take it and throw it away because it will kill you.
Listen, we gotta wait, Master Teacher. Let me please, no disrespect, but we can't continue on like this. We're gonna have to fix something because you're talking to us and you're saying poignant things and we're not even catching the poignant part of the sentence. Way better. That's 100%. 100%.
Now let me explain what's happening. I had to take myself off of Bluetooth, which doesn't enable our people here in this location to hear the show. I don't like that. These people are Nubian, and significant reincarnate. And they deserve to hear and get a bar of this. Now, how do I do it? Without all the distortion, I don't know. But I know this. This has got to happen. It is long overdue, and it was supposed to happen a long time ago.
Let's try.
Let me explain something to y'all. It's the information, I want to say this. It's the information that you all will get from our brothers and sisters over here on the West Coast that will save you brothers and sisters' lives on the East Coast. And it's the information that you all will give us on the West Coast that will save our lives over here. You see? Because I ran into a child last night that was about 4 years old who's specializing in coordinates. Meaning I told y'all I would cause Cyrus B to show itself in the sky 30 years before time. Ain't that what I said? And let me tell you something. The means to be able to do that is manifesting itself as I speak. This little boy ain't but 12 years old, and he specializes in coordinates. He will be able to give me, as I tell him what coordinates I know, he will give me the coordinates that we will then shift and send to NASA so that they can move their Hubble telescope and see Cyrus B 30 years before time. That's going to start giving everybody on the planet a heads up. Because they're going to realize that something is taking place great here in the city of Vallejo, California. You want to know how and why? Because can't nobody else do that shit. That star shows itself in the sky once every 50 years. And what's going to happen is I'm going to, with this little boy's help, mind you, who ain't but 12 years old. I met him last night. His name is Nate. This little boy doesn't even know why he's as smart as he is, but he is. And all he knows is maps and coordinates. And I told y'all a long time ago that Cyrus B shows itself in the sky once every 50 years. And I'm letting everybody know here in the city of Vallejo, when the ground starts moving, if you can't remember nothing else, Highway 80, going up towards Fairfield, stay looking towards the left. You will see a small strip of land that goes out into the bay. And when you get to Land's End, if you will look to the left, you'll see the Golden Gate Bridge, which ain't gold, damn it, it's orange. Got 'em. Because orange is a neutral color that will allow all the higher colors that are vibrating at a higher frequency to be able to come through. On that day, just like long ago, see, long ago there was a place called Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, Sodom and Gomorrah is right here today. It's right down the block. It's called San Francisco. And whether we like it or not, there was a prophet that was in charge of that project whose name was Lot, but only a very few made it out because the order was not to turn around. And one good, dumb knucklehead amongst us turned around anyway, and now she's on the table with pepper. Why? Because salt and pepper pushed it real good. This time the order will be for everybody to turn around and never forget what they see that day. On that day, I will raise my hands and put them down, and San Francisco will go into the water. And that day is not far from right now. And we're going to walk, because better I get everybody full attention then, what you think. And let me tell you something else. Then we're going to walk from where we're standing to Phoenix, Arizona, breaking up concrete, because they have glazed the whole globe with that crap. Let me say something to y'all. The East Coast is heavier than the West Coast. Why? Because there's more concrete buildings over there, which is why you all are sinking to a certain degree, while this, side of the planet is going up, or this side of what you call your United States of America is rising up, while that side is going down. You got more heavier buildings in places like Atlanta, New York, in Virginia, and in South Carolina. You see? And these things are causing our East Coast to lie heavier in weight than our West Coast. So what we're having is the altitude is changing. And on that note, you all will be starting to feel things and pay attention to the animals. Like I'm telling everybody over here, if your animals start acting sporadic, that should let you know that they know something that you don't. You're going to see birds like sparrows. Pay attention to the sparrows because they are your friends. You're going to see birds flying in the walls. And you're going to see cats and dogs running around stupidly right before this thing happens. So what I'm saying to you all, especially right here on the West Coast, is don't forget, and if you can't remember nothing else, Highway 80, on the way to Fairfield, because Fairfield is a fair field. It's a neutral zone. You'll be safe there. When this thing is happening very shortly now, all you got to do is stay paying attention to the birds, specifically the birds. Watch how they fly, and you'll start to see things go sporadically out of order. In the day you start seeing birds fly in the walls, that should let you know something's wrong. And this day is not far from now. So no, I'm not teaching no doomsday information. I'm teaching everybody how to save themselves from a catastrophic situation which is up and coming. Because what type of God? Now let me ask you all something. Think about this. If Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, all were the first people to walk this planet. Now watch now. What person was the one who did absolutely no wrong amongst them? Who was it? Was it Adam? No. Was it Eve? No. Was it Cain? No. It was Abel. And why? So if Abel did no wrong, what type of God would have let his most willing subject, I'm talking about the one that did absolutely no wrong, what type of God would let him have to die first? Shouldn't he have been able to live old as Methuselah? Why? Because he didn't do nothing wrong. But that brings to mind the good die young. You follow me? And why does the good die young? Because I don't care what you say. When you say the word God, you are saying Elohim. And a good God would at least shout it out to his favorite subject and said, listen, move, Abel. A Mack truck is about to hit you. But this God sat there and watched it and didn't let nothing happen. Didn't even yell out to the brother. And people might say, well, what type of mentality is that? I'll tell you, that's the mentality that knows the truth of it all, which is that you have many different gods, and all of them have different mentalities, just like we as Nubians here today do. You got some good Nubians, and you got some Nubians who are damn fools, who are Negroes, meaning literally beings who still need to grow and refuse. And why? Because they got a germ or a gene in them that comes from one side of our family, which is called Romulans. Black devils, y'all, no doubt, who don't care anything and nothing about nobody. All they're here to do is have fun and party all the time, and at anybody and everybody else's expense. But we are not Romulans. We are Vulcan, meaning we hold the highest form of vocal expression. We sing better, and we talk better and express ourselves quite well and quite rarely do you ever hear us say something that is inappropriate. All of us are considerate one of the other. And you will know each other by the love that you have for each other, having never known each other. You ever walk up on somebody and say, dang, you look familiar. And motherfucker be like, damn, you look familiar too. And you be like, yo, was you in so-and-so and so-and-so last year at such time? They be like, no. And then they be like, yo, was you in such a place at such time? You be like, no. And you'll walk away feeling complex about each other. Well, what it is, the two of you were very, very either good friends or family members in a past life. And that's why y'all see each other and know each other today, but don't know each other today. But the way you will know the royal family of ancient minds is the ones who you have love for and have love for you, though you never known them. And this is happening all over the planet as I speak. Now, I don't know what to tell y'all, but I'm doing the very best I can. But listen, with bubblegum and Band-Aids, when we should be flying the Starship Enterprise. I don't care what nobody say. As many talented people we have amongst our race, there's no reason why there isn't a studio somewhere that we can sit down and do this collectively, where we take a flat screen smart TV and put it up on the wall and let that be our blackboard. Take a Roku stick and let everybody in the class, listen, have their tricorders or their smartphones. Where I can say to everybody, look, I want you to go to Google and search this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I want you to go to Google and search that, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And you go to Google and search that, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And then sign all the findings right up on the screen. And so we can start to research topics that most people here today don't even know where they are or what they mean. Topics that concern us as people of color as to why we are having so much turmoil in our homes. Why are there so many fusses and fighting amongst boyfriend and girlfriend or husband and wife, sister and daughter, father and son? Our family institutions are literally tearing apart from the seams. And it ain't by luck or coincidence that this catastrophe will be solved. Because whether you know it or not, the worst reason to get into a relationship with somebody is because I fell into love. Then you wonder why at the end of that you end up hurt. Because nobody falls into anything without feeling some sort of pain. And pain is one emotion and experience that gets your full fucking attention, if nothing else. Because you will focus on any part of you that is feeling pain. And without pain, there ain't no growth. So if you want to limit your pain, limit your pleasure, y'all. You hear that? If you want to limit your pain, limit your pleasure. And if you want to maximize your joy, embrace your pain. Don't run from it. Look it right in the eye. Because them days done ran out. Time ran out a long time ago. And time is money, y'all. Don't fool yourself, which is why don't nobody got none. And all my niggas look broke in the fuck. And that's not a shame. That's a damn shame. So it's time to either get up and start to smell the coffee, the tea, the sugar, and the milk. Embrace me. Hold tight to him, my God. And in this, check this out. You'll find the guidance that is love supreme. Love supreme. Like who? Coltrane. Love supreme. Writers treat me like Coltrane. Insane. Don't you know? Well, please. I'm a what? Writers treat me like Coltrane. Insane. But to me, those who know I'm a different kind. We're brothers of the same mind, unblind, caught in the middle end, not surrendering. What? Chuck D knew what it was all about, and so do you and I. And that's what time it is, y'all. Time to rock and roll. Now, we got anybody on the switchboard? Put the questions through. I want to talk to the people and let them talk to me too. And then we're going to give our brother and sister over here time to talk to y'all too and let y'all know what's going on, things that they know that y'all don't know nothing about. And things that y'all know, y'all need to be letting them know. So that this can be a fair exchange, no robbery, exchange of information by which people of color start to come together instead of standing apart. Because I don't care what nobody say, I'm here for mine first. That's real. If you black and carry color, nigga, you one of mine. And I love you. I don't care if you a piss pot, you got a pea head, I don't give a damn. You one of mine.
I love you too. I love you too.
I love you, bro.
What you say? You love me too?
I love you too.
Bro.
We all love y'all more than you ever know. And I want y'all to know that we feel your love too. Though you all are thousands of miles away from us, we are one great big family of ancient minds. And that's the part of you that lives forever. Because isn't it true you can sing a song in your head and never open your mouth?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Now, nobody can lay claim to not being able to do that, right? Well, that's the part of you that lives forever. It's older than any building, any cement, and anything you've ever seen. And it's ancient, meaning it ain't sent to everybody. It's sent to us, to y'all, to us all. Now, any questions? I want to pass some of the questions to Zuriel or Dari. Come on, pass them to you.
I got a question.
Anybody got it?
Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead.
When you're first off, if you're a question, please state your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Reggie from Las Vegas. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Reggie. What's happening, loved one?
I'm doing good. I got a question about the light. So I understand that in the beginning we were in triple darkness and there was peace, complete peace. And with the light came chaos. My question is, when we die, everyone we talked about going towards the light. Hold on one second, loved one. Wait, hold your question because I want everybody to hear your question. So I'm gonna put you through on this Bluetooth one more time, and I'll answer off of the Bluetooth, but they can hear you on the Bluetooth. Now, please say something. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Not yet. Hold on. This is the Bluetooth right here, Ceci. I want to get. I'm tearing to it, so that should be. Come on, say something, loved one.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I know what I got to do. I got to take him off speakerphone. 1 second. Here we go. Ready? Question now.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Yes,
hello?
I can.
Okay. Now, I understand that in the beginning we were in triple darkness. And in triple darkness there was total peace. And it wasn't until the light came that chaos came. My question is, at death, I would think that would be the time everyone talks about going to the light at death. Is there a difference between that light? Is there chaos in that light as well, in death?
Let me say this to you. That was a good question. What the brother asked is this. He said, I want everybody to hear the question. Hey, can you pay attention for a second? I want everybody to hear what this brother's asking. It's a very good question. He said he understands that first we all sat in triple darkness. In that triple darkness existed the absence of chaos and confusion, which is peace. And when the light
you know where they're get clothes and stuff like that?
What's up? What's going on? Where's everybody at?
I don't know. I'm still here. I don't know what happened.
Now, what was the state? What was the question the brother posed? What was the question again, brother? If you could repeat the question, please.
Here's my question again. I understand that in the beginning we started in triple darkness. Yeah. Right? And there was total peace. Right?
Right.
And it wasn't until the light came that chaos came.
Right.
Now, when we die, everyone says go to the light. Go towards the light. Is there chaos in that light too?
There is not. You're not going towards the light. Is death, the true death. So in other words, all right, I'll take it from this point. When you're in your mother's womb, you're in triple darkness, meaning there is no other perception but your own. No one is there perceiving it, and basically it's triple darkness, all right, when you are in your mother's womb. Once you're born into the light. When in the beginning, before in the beginning when the light came on, there was peace. When the light came on, there was chaos. The reason there was chaos is because then you had to deal with a whole bunch of new issues of sight. Before there was physical sight, which we call our two eyes, we dealt with feeling, tone, rhythm, and content. You understand? When you get outside of tone, rhythm, and content, you get into what is known as confusion, which means you are against the fusion of yourself with the all. So therefore, when a mortal passes on their mortal coil, and they go into the afterlife, or what is considered the afterlife when their physical body stops, they are not to wait for a light. That is being told to you so you can truly die. Because the Elohim do not operate on light. God is in the dark, not in the light. The devil is the light bearer. So to tell a being go towards the light, you're telling them to go toward the devil. You understand?
I do.
And at the point of death, it's fear. Fear of losing yourself. You feel you're going to lose yourself, like you've lost. And that fear will cause you to die the true death. You understand? Because you're there looking for a light, and there's no light. There's only darkness, because you came from darkness.
Yeah. Okay.
So to know that this is true, to prove to yourself that this is indeed a fact and the truth, you just merely have to ask yourself, what's the best way to go to sleep? Do you go to sleep with all the lights on in the house with your eyes open? Or do you go to sleep with your eyes closed and all the lights off?
All right.
Do you find
rest
in the dark? Right. Or do you find rest in the light? You find rest in the dark.
In the dark.
That is because God is in the dark. God is not in the light.
Is this that way who just gave me that explanation?
You say what now?
I hope that answers your question, brother. I tried my best. I appreciate that. Very hard.
Who is it who just gave me that explanation?
This is Zoriel.
Okay, thank you for that.
Zoriel. You are most
appreciate
welcome,
that.
brother.
I really do.
I try to answer it as best I can. Just remember the rule of thumb is if it's in the dark, it's cool. If it's outside in the light, there's something wrong with it. Because you only when you looking for a cockroach, you want to shine the light in that corner. You get what I'm saying? When there's something distasteful, or something you got to get rid of or you don't want, you know what I mean? You're gonna focus your light. You're gonna focus the light on it. You know what I mean? In that dark corner, in that shadowy dark corner, you want to focus the light on it because it don't belong. You feel your perception it doesn't belong, so you got to get rid of it. So in order to search for it, you got to use a light. If it's in the dark, it's peaceful, it's acceptable. If you in the dark, if you in your bed at night in the dark and a cockroach is crawling on the wall, are you going to see that cockroach and be concerned with it? No, only if the light's on.
Right.
You feel me? You only going to find something wrong if the light's on. So therefore, the light dictates what is wrong. Because if the light wasn't on, you wouldn't know that thing was there to see that it was wrong or to perceive that it was wrong. So everything in the dark is on a balance. It's balanced out. Everything in the dark is balanced out.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense to me. I appreciate that.
Now I have a question. I got a question. And I want everybody on the line. I want ATUN-RE. Is ATUN-RE still on the line? Did he put us on hold?
No, he actually his call dropped, but he called me back and his call dropped again.
All right, he'll call back. Listen, here's my question. As learned men, people who feel that they have sufficient information or they're still learning, right? Or they're receiving information. Here's my question. To a layman, a person who has no knowledge of what you're talking about, right? Has no knowledge of what we're talking about. And it sounds totally absurd to anyone listening, right? In the listening audience, if they have no prior knowledge, right? Or indoctrination to this type of information, right? If a being should say to you, prove it. I don't know whoever's phone that is in the background, please mute yourself out so this radio show can go on. My question to the listening audience, or my question to the panel on this phone. My question is, if a person who's not a Nuwapian or a Nubian should hear all of this information, right? Because they're interested, and then they should ask you to prove for them what you're talking about. They want actual proof. How would you provide them with proof?
Well, the first thing I would tell them to do is look around you. Look and see what's happening around you right now. If you are hearing this information, it is grabbing you. It is touching you. It is pulling you towards it. If you can question, I mean, it's fine to have questions, but once you start questioning, then maybe that's not for you.
Hey, Zora.
You feel this. This information, when you hear this information, it is unquestionable. It grabs a hold of you. Not only does it grab you, but if you didn't think about it before, you think about it now. If it wasn't on your mind before, it stays on your mind.
No doubt.
And it's all you think about. It will consume you.
No doubt. I agree with you. My question still is for someone who you can explain that to them, and that makes a lot of sense to me. But to a person who has no previous knowledge and indoctrination to this information, and a person dealing with on-site proof, you get what I'm saying? Like, the news comes on and says a plane crashed on a runway at the local airport, right? You can literally go to the local airport and see the damage from the crash of that plane. It was on the news. You heard it first on the news. And you felt like, all right, that's just on the news. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily trust them, so I'm going to go and check it out. I'm not going to just believe what they're saying. I'm going to go check it out. Like so many times before, Pop said, don't believe me, check it out. ATUN-RE says all the time, don't believe me, check it out.
Check it out. Right.
Right. So this is the point where the person says, prove it. You said the black man is God, prove it. You said you're Elohim, prove it. You said your God's name is so-and-so, prove it. Where's he at? Show him to me. Where's he at? It's like you could say to a Christian, you follow Jesus, where's he at? God, you said God said so-and-so and God's going to do X, Y, and Z, prove it. You say you know Jesus, prove it. You said you're so-and-so, prove it.
You can hear me, Zero?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I think to that question is it separates belief and fact.
Correct.
Now,
that is exactly what I'm getting at. Go ahead.
Now, when you say prove it, somebody who believes something, they don't have substantiated facts to back up a belief because it's just something they believe.
Correct.
You see?
So then they fall. I don't mean to cut your wisdom off. I just want to compliment it. So then that same person, then they don't know it to be a fact. They just believe it. So then they're idol worshiping.
Exactly. Right.
All right. Go ahead.
Now, the person that presents the facts, if he got the evidence, reason, and experience to back that up, that the other person can relate to and or, research for themselves, then that can become, manifest as a fact.
Correct.
But if the person doesn't, if it's two people in a feud and or disagreement with each other, and neither of them can present evidence, reason, or experience based on, a certain topic that they might, speak on, they both are presenting belief because it cannot be substantiated.
Correct. So I'll give you an example. And I was just talking to brothers about this the other day. To whoever experienced, and this is to the listening audience, and I mean no disrespect, but I am knowing certain things. And in order to bring you along, we have to go through certain things, just like we all go through certain things with ATUN-RE, just like we all go through certain things with Master Teacher Dr. Malachi Z. York, just like we all go through things with Anu, the Most High Living God.
Right.
Now, brother said the other day, brother was on radio show, he spoke about the wheel. Now, that's not the first person that I've heard speak about the will. Brother Bodie spoke about the will. ATUN-RE spoke about the will. All right? Me personally, I haven't ever seen or experienced being confronted by a wheel in the sky. Right? Now, I could easily, as a person that hasn't ever experienced it, being told about it, I can say, or I can say as a person on the outside, prove it. All I know is people talking about it. You could have just made that shit up.
Right.
And people could just be lying just to get along. You get what I'm saying? People could just be saying, oh, yeah, I saw the wheel just to jump on a dick, just a dick ride. You get what I'm saying? Now, my thing is, personally to me, now just as a side note, personally to me, trying to explain to someone outside of yourself about a personal experience that only you experienced, trying to make it a fact and real for them is very difficult if they did not experience the same thing. All right?
Right.
So when a person has not experienced that thing that you're claiming that you experienced, when they should ask you for evidence, well, did you take a picture? Did you call the police? Did you notify any authorities? The question will usually be answered with a no, no, and no. Because every story about the wheel, niggas was scared, they ran, they tried to hide from it, they dropped to their knees and prayed to God, let this pass from me, let this pass from me. And it's very real for them. But for someone who hasn't experienced it, it sounds totally bizarre to them. Do you get what I'm saying to you? I'm trying to say it as plainly as possible. This whole shit sounds crazy to a person who is not knowledgeable or has no previous indoctrination to any type of this way of thinking or this type of information. Do you get what I'm saying? So they're going to want some sort of proof, right, that you know exactly what you're talking about and you actually did experience that experience. That's like it's like people who say they ran into Bigfoot. You know what I mean? And the people with the Bigfoot footage is always grainy and it's out of focus and the person's hand is shaking. You know what I mean? And it's like you in your mind like, oh, that's somebody in a suit running across the field and they just videotaping it. You know what I mean? Or you'll see, I'm on the phone, excuse me. Or it's one of those situations where you have someone videotaping a UFO, right? And it could be said that this person just doctored the videotape. Like they're a special effects artist and they're just trying to drum up business for themselves. So they put this video out of a UFO with the green light. Do you get what I'm saying? There are many people on this planet. Listen, people always need to feel like they are a part of something to the point where they will lie and cheat to feel like they're a part of something.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
So if you're going to stand up, listen very closely. If you're going to stand up and stand on the information or the personal experience you have or the personal experience that you share with someone else that you don't know, if you're going to stand on it, then when a person comes to you and tells you, prove what you're talking about, prove it, let me see it, prove it, show me. If you have nothing to show them but a bunch of talk, it is only a bunch of talk. The only being on this, the only being in the all who does not rely on running their mouth to convince anyone is Anu. Think about that. Really seriously think about that. Anu doesn't need to talk to us. He doesn't need to communicate with us. Just the fact that he sends a warner, a prophet, an avatar is a mercy. And every avatar, prophet, warner, or Messiah always came to us to communicate not from their mouth or what they think, but communicate to us what our Father has to say to us. Correct?
Correct.
Right.
All right. So when you start getting into all this other shit of UFOs and planet shifting and all this other shit, when you start getting into all of that, and then the question comes up, well, prove it. Prove what you're saying. This shouldn't be a closed mouth. This should be action. Like, you should be having some sort of documentation. Well, just like when Pops said, when you ask Pops a question, Pops answer it. Then he'll tell you, don't believe me, go check it out, because there's references. You can reference what I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that I can reference to tell me about the wheel?
Ezekiel.
What is it? Is there any, let me rephrase the question. Is there anything that I can reference proving that there is a wheel that is flying around fucking with OSOICE members? Has anyone? Yeah, I'm getting it. Hey, man, I'm getting them. I'm doing my job, baby. I'm doing my job.
Yeah, I love it.
Let me do my job.
That's how you're supposed to do.
Let me
I'm
work.
so happy that I'm gonna let the brother go ahead on and finish what he's doing, but I want to say this. Thank you all. Thank you, Zulael, for doing it exactly the way OSOICE members are supposed to. Y'all know the devil's not gonna pack up shop and go home.
That's right.
Finish up with the brother, and then I'm gonna go ahead.
All right, let me work. So,
do you think
when you don't have, when there is not available to you proof, solid proof to back up your personal experience, the story of your personal experience, then you're left with holding the bag. It is just your personal experience. You cannot prove it past only what you experienced. You can't bring that into my life. So again, I ask, out of all the people on this planet that have experienced being scared shitless of a wheel in the sky, did anyone take the time while they were scared to fucking videotape it? Did anyone take the time to photograph the shit? So when you're talking, when we're dealing with mortals trying to save their soul, or at the very least knowing that something's not quite right and they need guidance, right? And then they should hear a conversation of intellectual human beings talking about like they're dealing with real shit in real time, like molestation, abortions, miscarriages, bad relationships, abuse, physical abuse, members of their family being murdered in the street through gang violence, and they need some sort of blueprint on how to deal with all this evil shit. They go to a radio show and motherfuckers is talking about spaceships and little green men. Come on, man. Come on, man. Do you know what makes Anu real for me? I'll tell you, and I'll share this with you. This is what makes Anu real for me. It's because he's all around. He's all around me. He's all around me. He's inside and he's all around me. Every time I wake up, I open my eyes, there's Anu. Every time I look in the mirror, there's Anu. Every time I say peace and blessings, every time I say peace and blessings, every time I bust a joke out in the middle of ATUN-RE being serious and everybody busts out laughing, that's Anu. Every time ATUN-RE says, I love you, that's Anu. Every time ATUN-RE sees his mama's face, every time his mama looks at him, that's Anu. The first being that you know, the first being that is your Anu, as soon as you come into this realm, is your mama and your daddy. They're your gods when you first come here because you need them and they need Anu. And everyone works hand in hand. So when a being comes to you and asks you for proof, it says prove it, you better dig into your guts and come up with something better than a fucking spaceship and some green men and some story about Dr. Malachi Z. York turning into a green ball and floating up into the sky. Some shit that nobody saw. Some shit that nobody ever experienced. Nobody saw that shit. And you didn't even see it. You just listening to the shit. Like, oh yeah, niggas will say ATUN-RE turned into a fucking lamb in front of us, shitted out a whole brick, and turned back into a human being and kept it walking. Niggas would be talking about that forever. Yeah, ATUN-RE could turn into a sheep. Because niggas is playing. You're playing. Playing. It only becomes real. All this information, it only becomes real when your ass is holding on by a thin thread. By which I mean when you're about to motherfucking die. It only becomes real to you when you're about to die. And you have no choice but to call on the Father. You have no choice but to call on Anu. And you good Negroes out there talking about I'm this one, I'm that one, I'm so-and-so, I'm this, and I'm motherfucking that. Talking about ATUN-RE is real, ATUN-RE is real. ATUN-RE is real because Anu is real. ATUN-RE gives reverence to Anu. ATUN-RE bows and prostrates to the Most High Living God before anyone. Let me hear somebody else talk about ATUN-RE is real. ATUN-RE is real. And ATUN-RE has a lot of mercy and love for you that he doesn't correct you because he knows God bless you and you're good, not knowing the right thing to say, good self-Negroes, that you really mean God. But see, you're idol worshiping still. And ATUN-RE is doing the best he can to get y'all Negroes out of idol worshiping. That's why he says to you, go out in the goddamn street. Don't just talk shit on the radio. He's talking to us on the radio, and he's talking to people right in front of him. Everybody got all these goddamn questions to ask him, but nobody's, you know what? This whole time, everyone has all these fucking questions, but nobody's just talking about what they've done to help their brothers and sisters. Talk about that shit. Don't just talk and ask a whole bunch of fucking questions that ain't got shit to do with what's going on right now. What the fuck does Venus have to do with planet Earth? What the
I'd like
fuck
to say
does
something real quick.
The rotation of the planets have to do with that child getting molested right now? We're supposed to be, see, Tahuti was in the trenches. Tahuti is a get down and dirty man. Get your fingernails dirty. That means you're there on point. You're there in the midst, dealing with the souls, getting them out of this minutia, out of the shit. Niggas talk about they know the difference between shit and apple butter. You better wake up. You better wake up and realize that you don't know what the fuck you talking about. The only one that knows the difference between shit and apple butter is ATUN-RE. Because you didn't even know the expression between shit and apple butter before he said something. Then you notice, damn, I've been eating shit all this time. Niggas got real good at eating shit. So much that they breath stink, your breath smell like shit because that's all you do is talk shit. You know what the apple butter, Master Teacher, can I tell him what the apple butter is? Please let me tell him what the apple butter is.
Without question, go right ahead.
The apple butter is doing the fucking job. The apple butter is doing the job, not talking about it.
So, for them niggas who've been talking it,
my thing is, see, I'm here to tell you, shut the fuck up and do it. Do it. When you get off the phone from this show, there should be at least 10 souls that you saved.
May I say something real quick? I like to say this. You have to keep in mind, Zuriel, we didn't get here overnight. None of us did. Certain people become, like every fruit on the tree doesn't become ripe at the exact same time. Every fruit in its own time. And we have to be considerate of the lesser evolved. The lesser evolved, without question, was you and me in the time gone by. Now that you all have moved, listen, to and up that evolutionary ladder. Because like I said, each one of you all are evolutionary creatures moving up an evolutionary ladder, and where you sit or stand on that ladder is determined by the things you know versus the things you don't know. But every time you learn a new thing, and the operative word I use is anu. Anu responsibility kicks in also. And when you say responsibility, now you're saying having the ability to respond to a need that will present itself on a day-to-day basis in the eyes and in the hearts of others that you will come in contact with in your day-to-day lives. I mean, the joy of having the answer is tremendous, meaning it feels great when somebody walks up, asks you a question, and you can answer them with accuracy. But it's sweet. That's because it's sweet to the lips. But did you know it's bitter to the belly? Meaning to walk the walk is far different from talking the talk. When you have to get out there and then participate in something that is changing people's lives to the point that you know by looking in their eyes that your words are making a difference. That then becomes a horse of a different color. And be you sister or brother, you have a couple of choices in the matter. Picture it like a river flowing is what I would say oftentimes. You can lay down in it and just let go and allow the current of the Most High to take you where it is intended for you to be and go. Or you can try to swim against it. Guaranteed you'll drown. And what's ironic is when you wake up, you'll be where you're supposed to be anyway, meaning doing what you were created to do from the very start. Some of you can write a letter that has 2 points at the bottom and call it a W. Why is it and how is it that you can't see that that's a double V? But others of you will write the letter rounded at the bottom, and you know that's the letter U, seen in its doubled capacity. Well, question, when you look in the mirror, doesn't that image look identical to you? Of course it does. How is it that many of you can't see that's the W right there. How do you know? Because it will not smile before you do. You wink its eye, it'll wink its eye. You raise your hand, it'll raise its hand. How is it that many of you don't realize, even here now, that every day you leave home, a W leaves with you? The higher you and the lower you. The higher you knows exactly what it's here to do and will move relentlessly towards fulfillment of that mission, while the lower you doesn't have the slightest clue. And its life is like a leaf blowing in the wind, and wherever it ends up, it has absolutely no control over, and can only prove to do one thing well. And what is that one thing? To stand in the higher you's way. That's when you become your own worst enemy. Because when you say enemy, you're saying inner me. Your inner you can become your own worst enemy, can stop you from getting everything you need, until one day you will experience a thing called the sacred marriage of self. That's when the lower you will agree to marry into the higher self, because it knows that the higher self has a destiny to fulfill, meaning it even knows that the higher you must be in a designated place at a designated time doing a designated thing. Well, question, aren't you all in a designated place right now? And the answer is yes. And aren't you all doing a designated thing right this moment? And the answer is yes. And what is the designated thing that you are doing? You are listening to my voice, which if you listen hard, you will see that I and my Father am one. Our rhythm, tone, and content is almost identical. It takes a very keen ear to be able to tell the difference. And the truth of the matter is that in that rhythm, tone, and content exist certain triggers. These triggers are being pulled all over the globe that is causing genetic explosion, one right after the other.
Yes.
Where without question, my sister, my brother, the 144,000 are well on their rise. You can see it in the eyes and in the hearts and minds of many others. Though you have never met these people, you'd be surprised how many have heard the rhythm, tone, and content of my Father and I. Well, don't forget, I and my Father am one, but I am Tahuti's apprentice. And the truth is, I have the best of both worlds. To the right, I have my Father with his right knowledge. And to the left, I have, with the divine information. Right knowledge is divine information. It has the power to put all of our people back in formation again. And then to the left of me, the grandfather, who is God's father. Do not fool yourself. When you hear James Brown, they called him the God's father of soul. And without question, when you hear James Brown, you hear Tahuti. Because Tahuti, listen, pushed the pen and sang through the mouth of James Brown's every hit song. I want to get up and do my thing, like a sex machine doing it, man. Or say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Don't tell me I know. Or the big payback, I don't know karate, I know Kareza. You listening to the voice of Tahuti right there. And not only did he move the hand of James Brown and speak through James Brown's mouth, he also moved the hand of an artist by the name of Kim, who put out an album called Kim Chemistry, because we are Kemetans. From the land of Kemet we come, and it's through the science of, Kemetans, that you get the science of alchemy. That which has the ability to take a mere rock off the ground and turn it to gold. See, in this later day and time, I know it's all on each of you all's mind. Well, if we pack up shop and you all were to come go on the road with me and do a show with me called Walking with ATUN-RE, we'll go, yeah, that's me. Hey, we'll go from one city to one city. Hey, sister, I love you. And listen, we'll go from one city to one city, and in this, I'm in the back, we will shake hands with many, many different beings on that show called Walking with ATUN-RE. And in that, you will start to see just what it is that I've had to say coming full fruition, full circle, to a place by which each word, each syllable, like I said, not one dot or tittle, one, listen, comma or one capital letter will fall away. Because to the left of me, I have God's Father, who works in an outformational way. And in the center of that, I don't have a well-rounded education, because education is an edited dictation. That's a summary. Meaning, who wants a summary? I give you an orrery by giving you all of me. Everything that it takes. Why? Because we teach a thing called mid-formation. Like you have intellect, you have outellect. And then you have midtellect. And it's in the center of everything that you will find your way to where it is you're supposed to be. What do I mean by that? They will teach you that 2, 4, 6, 8 is even if that's not true. Because how is 3, 6, 9, 12 odd? I want to ask you. Because how is it that 2 evens can produce an odd, but 2 odds can produce an even, but 2 evens can't produce an odd? That's not even at all. And it's not 2 things that declare something evil. It's 3, because in order for 2 things to be declared even, you must take one object, put it on the plate of the scale of Libra.
The Libra scale.
The other
correct.
object you must put on the scale. Listen, on the plate of the scale of Egypt, Libra. And in this, everybody's so focused on those 2 things that they forget that there's a center thing that suspends the 2 plates. So it's not 2 things that declare something. Listen, that declares something even. It's 3 things. And did you know that this planet was at one time called odd? And why? Because you live in a 3-dimensional world. I don't care what you say. While in the human body vessel, you can't think past the number 3. The number 3 governs you and me. How do you know? Try to think of something that isn't a person, isn't a place, and isn't a thing. You'll bust your brain. Because it's impossible to think outside of person, place, and thing. It's 3 while in the human body vessel, which is a car also. Like I told you many times before, the human body vessel is a car also. How do you know? Because every word you speak had a birth date. It was spoken by someone somewhere for the very first time. And they give you a word called carnal, which is spelled C-A-R-N-A-L. Now, why do I spell it out? In order for the spell to be broken in all of y'all. Because if I don't spell it out, the spell remains within each of you and will plague you day in and day out and day in again. So, C-A-R-N-A-L is the word carnal, which means pertaining to the human body. Don't believe me? Check it out. Pertaining to the human body. What they did was to take the N-A-L off of the word carnal, and in this, the word car was born, which they said was a vessel that would carry human beings from point A to point B. But what they didn't teach you all is that the human body vessel is a car also, and that you're on a ride called life. But you can't get out this car until the ride is over. Why? Because you signed on the dotted line. You chose your parents. You said, I want to be shot through that shaft, and I want to come through that canal. And in that, I can get it done. In the day you saw, listen, the pages in the book of life turned. You see? And you were asked, in that car, can you get it done? You said, yes, I can. We asked, are you sure? You said, yes, I am not sure. And then that we said, get ye down from here. But what we didn't tell y'all is that when you got here, you would remember having seen the pages of the book of life turned in its first place. Now, because I'm the elder who signed each of you all's papers, I'm here to see to it that you don't fuck this up. And so on that note, without question, this is not a joke. You might say, well, can I be excused now? Because you came through that canal called your mother. And you've been giving to the mother what you all should have been giving to the father long ago. Because with the Father, you will go further than ever before, where no man and woman on this planet has ever gone. From being a mere man and a woman to being a god or a goddess. And then you can get it done. Because you can't just take the concept of what it is being a god or a goddess and not put it in effect. You have to conceptualize it. And then you have to make that conception immaculate, meaning you have to clean it up and perfect it. That's why I said through an immaculate conception, I was born. And let me tell y'all something. We don't have no time to waste because time ran out a long time ago. Now, if indeed there's doubt, I want you to know doubt is a demon. It's the thought behind the thought that stops you. It can't be your second nature. It has to be your first. And in that, you will alleviate doubt. With that, my name is ATUN-RE. Box it, bag it, and put it out there. Hotep.
Hotep.